the first carry for Amir Abdullah. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 13 yards as the Vikings pick up the first down.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. It's complete to Diggs. No gain there on the completion, 2nd and 10. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. And they tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
The safety, Keanu Neal, there to knock that one free. They're going to look to throw. And Rudolph has it, the tight end. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. So on 4th down, Britton Colquitt on to punt. Kenyon Barner deep for Atlanta. And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. So here the Falcons now as they get set for their opening possession. They'll be led out by the 3rd overall pick of the 2008 draft, the man they call Matty Ice, quarterback Matt Ryan.
Always knew he'd be a gym rat, very cerebral player, a guy that beats you with his mind as well as his physical attributes. But the best part, poise under pressure. He knows how to bring a team back in the 4th quarter.
They run, Devontae Freeman. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Ryan. They'll set up the screen for Freeman. And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 12-yard line. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up 3rd down. Now that screen there on 2nd down certainly didn't develop how they had hoped. Is that one they should have even tried, or is that one the quarterback sticks in his pocket?
I think the latter. I like what you said there, because trying is one thing. We can second-guess just about every call. But in this case, when you realize that it's broken down, just throw it at the feet of your intended receiver so that no one can pick it off, right? You don't have the ball tipped up in the air, and you come back and try and pick up the 1st down on 3rd down. That way you don't lose any yardage.
And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. An excellent pickup of 20 yards. And now he's really knocking on the door for 700. That is career catch 699. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Ryan on the handoff. It's Freeman. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. Here now the offensive starters for Atlanta.
Obviously a tough test for this offense right out of the gate. Road game in game 1 of the new year. Conventional wisdom says, go slow, take care of the football. I think in this case, attack early and get the home team back on their heels.
And that one blown up quickly, as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down. From the shotgun, Ryan. Gets it off to Freeman.
Let's go, let's go. That's how we do, D. That's how we do. They don't want to know.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
On fourth down, here's Matt Bosher on the punt. Marcus Sherrill's back deep for Minnesota. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. They were forced to punt on their initial drive of the new season. Now they're ready to go as they begin again with a 1st and 10. They start the drive with Abdullah. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21. 2nd and 9 now from the 21. Running from the gun, it's Abdullah. They follow up the first down 1-yard run with a minimal gain of 2. They'll set up to throw. It's complete to Laquan Treadwell. First catch of the new season for him, and he picks up the first. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Running for the first time with a fullback, C.J. Ham. And he's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4. Adrian Claiborne, the one who makes the stop. Well, these two teams, the Falcons and the Vikings, have met 30 times since the Falcons' inaugural year in the league back in 1966. And the Vikings winning 19 of those games, but maybe the most memorable game between the two was a Falcons victory. That was in the NFC Championship game back in January of '99. Gary Anderson missed a field goal to potentially win it at the end of regulation, and then the Falcons would get the victory in OT 30-27, and they were off to the Super Bowl. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
A couple of first downs has the football positioned at the 43 as they come up 1st and 10. Back to the ground now. Here's Abdullah. And very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44. Now 3rd down is looming. A pickup of 2 on first down and just 1 yard there. 8th play of the drive forthcoming, and they need 8 yards on 3rd down. They'll set up a throw. And that will be incomplete. Solid coverage on the play by Devondre Campbell.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
Here's Britton Colquitt now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. And a look at the Vikings defensive unit.
Danielle Hunter is an excellent example of the right player, the right athlete, meeting the right scheme. And he found it in Minnesota under head coach Mike Zimmer. Many people thought he might have been too undersized to play defensive end. What Zim saw was a heck of a guy off the edge, super quickness, someone who can get to the quarterback in the right situations, and that's how he deploys him.
It's a 6-yard run, leaves him with about a foot or so here still to go to hit the marker with third down coming up.
And Falcons fans everywhere excited that Devontae Freeman is back on the field wearing number 24 in the red and black. Remember, he went down in week 2 in 2018 with an injury and didn't return. They're hoping to see the form that led him to 1,000-yard seasons in 2015 and 2016.
Now a run on first down is not going to get off the ground as they will get him behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 3. What happened there? Was that just a missed assignment on the O-line?
It certainly felt like it, but also the speed of the play. When you're talking about defensive end, they want to be ahead of the clock, don't they? They want to be upfield, making plays on every snap. How about his agility there to run that one down?
Here's the second year back from Southern Miss, Ito Smith. And give him 6 yards here as he's stopped near the 35 at the 34. On third down, Ryan. That's complete to Smith.
Well, the good thing about covering any game I do with you is I know that there's no problem with rhythm. Now, what we're watching offensively, a little bit of a problem there.
Yeah, punt on the first drive, looking at another one here. Just a little slow. You know, they were talking about a fast start, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, and let's face it, any team we cover always talks about a fast start.
That's true.
But it's not necessarily going to happen just because they say so. And whether it's the script, whether it's, just what they're going through, whether they're seeing different defenses, they're going to have to figure it out as this game moves on.
And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. And now out comes Minnesota. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
2nd and 9 now from the 21.
Brings up 2nd and 9.
On the run, Abdullah. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Calling a loss of 2 on the play. And that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11. That was shades of Tennessee Volunteer football back in the 80s with Charles Davis coming up from the secondary to make the tackle for a loss.
You mean my teammates doing that, right? Because they would tell you, my coach would say, where's that tape? I want to see that. But how about the complete package there? Not just playing the pass, but being a willing tackler and making a really nice play.
Now on third down, that pass knocked down in the backfield and incomplete.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion. And both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
Pulled in at the 24. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here. We've seen both of these offenses still sort of in that figuring things out phase, but I suspect some action on the scoreboard soon as they start out here 1st and 10. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. The drive will start with a carry by Devontae Freeman. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. Ben Gideon in on the stop. Throwing on 2nd down. Ryan. Open man is Kendrick Bourne. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. It's a gain of 16, 1st down Falcons.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Ryan in the offense with a 1st and 10. And he's a perfect 5 for 5 here to begin the game. Here's Ryan. And it's hauled in by Austin Hooper. And a loose football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. So far they've had 3 drives, 3 punts. Not good.
Not good indeed, because you've got to have something to show for being out on the field. Now sometimes if you have a game where neither side has scored, 3 punts isn't a bad thing. But when you're trying to set the pace, get up on top in a game, you got to show better offense and find a way to put some points on the board.
Now whistles and a timeout. Looks like we've got a Viking slow to get up. Boy, not what you want to see in quarter 1 of the new year. We'll be back.
Ready? Hey, hold on. Check 45 to Mike. You get rock me. You get rock me.
On 1st down, Abdullah. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter.
Mike, 45.
Second and 9 at the 42-yard line.
We're scoreless after 1. Second quarter now from Minnesota. It's the Vikings in possession of the football as they're looking at a 2nd down and 9 to go. Hey, this is Abdullah. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the 1st.
Something to watch here in week 1 of the season, tackling. Because you and I both know that in the preseason, a lot of these guys don't play a whole lot. Plus the intensity and the speed really ratchets up on opening week.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They'll run with a fullback Ham. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
He was brought down at the 28-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup. It's 2nd and 8.
Here's 2nd and 8. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. And they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. And he will have the 1st down across the 20 to the 19-yard line. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
3rd and inches, just turn around and hand it to the big guy and let him plow forward and pick up a 1st down. A lot of people think that the offensive line, they may almost take the play off because they got a big guy back there pushing forward. I think it actually works in reverse. I think they block harder because they love seeing that guy get the ball because he doesn't touch it very often.
They'll look to throw. A dump off for Abdullah. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. Call it a gain of 5. And it's a 2nd down. Abdullah. And he'll get about 3 just outside the 10, stopped at the 11. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This time they face a 3rd and 2. They'll run here. Abdullah. And he's able to pick up the 1st before he's brought down inside the 5 at the 4. It's a gain of 6 as they're able to convert, and now it's 1st and goal.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Here we go. Check.
They'll try to run it in with Abdullah. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal. So the ball position, no. And he'll get into the zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. From 3 yards out, as his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon. There was no going through the progressions on that touchdown pass.
Yeah, nor was it necessary. His receiver won that route early, presented himself, no reason to wait. Go ahead and put it on him and score a touchdown.
Dan Bailey now for the extra point. He's got it, and the Vikings take a 7-0 lead. A pretty long drive that time, 11 plays all told. And it all culminates in a touchdown for Minnesota. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. And back onto the field now comes Devontae Freeman. He's had a good chunk of carries. Problem is for very little success. I don't want to put it all on his shoulders, but that's a big reason they're losing right now.
Have to be very careful that he doesn't start pointing fingers. Offensive line obviously trying. The defense is doing a nice job against him today. When it's all said and done, it's all about the guy in the mirror. He has to get it done better going forward.
See if he can look and do some soul searching now. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. Now Ryan. And finding the tight end Hooper. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down. This is Freeman on 1st and 10. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10. Out of the gun, it's Ryan. He's got Freeman here. It's complete. No gain on the play there. It'll be 2nd down. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. Now it's Ryan. Swings it out to the flat for Freeman. They'll get nothing out of that one, and it's going to lead to a 3rd down. They wound up getting nothing out of that 2nd down completion, so now here's 3rd and 10. Ryan. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
Here's Matt Bosher now as he's on to punt for Atlanta. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And it's out of bounds. Now we'll see what the side judge says. He says out at the 8-yard line. The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game, but this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football, because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
And they begin the drive with Abdullah. Now he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. Here's Abdullah. And down he'll go at the 25.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. He'll look to throw. He completes it to Abdullah. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. 2nd and 6. And this one hauled in by Rudolph. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. This quarterback now 12 of 16 thus for Boone here. Now that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
On 2nd down, boom. They get 9 yards back on the run there, and they're left with a much more makeable 3rd and 2. Inside give to Ham, the fullback. And he's got a first down as he's up to the 48. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
Football's such a game of tendencies, down and distance, and on 3rd and inches, 3rd and 1, you're thinking, yeah, the fullback's probably going to get the ball, but when you get to 3rd and 2, most of the time that's either the running back or a pass play. So that's a nice tendency breaker by the offensive team there. Hand it to their big guy to pick up a first down.
Let's set a tone, fellas. Let's set a tone.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. It's complete. Abdullah. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup. That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. A shotgun handoff. This is Abdullah. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
Open man is Thielen. It's complete. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Adam Thielen, 43 yards. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage.
When we draw up defenses on the board, we do account for every receiver. But on that particular play, somehow he was wide open, became an easy touchdown pass.
Bailey now for the extra point. And it's good to make it 14-0. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. And it's polished off by a Viking score. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. This is taken at his 4. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. A reminder coming up later tonight, the Patriots unfurl their 6 banners. They play host to their rival Steelers. And then on Monday night, it's the one weekend of the year where you get 2 games to wrap up the week. Texans and Saints from New Orleans in the early game, then Broncos and Raiders. Vic Fangio's coaching debut, and the Raiders' final season opener in Oakland. That's the late game, 10:30. And Freeman lost the football, and the Vikings pick up the football. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. He didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. We're in the second quarter. They've got the lead. The lead, though, not so much because of the ground game, because of their air attack, Charles.
So what they're seeing so far is the possibility of things loosening up later in the ground game. Through the air first, maybe they have to start respecting that even more as the game goes on, and then there will be running lanes to find later.
Yeah, try to get him more involved here on this drive maybe. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short.
Probably a bit of a surprise call there on first down, but how about a tone setter for the drive? Picking up nice yardage with the big man setting the tone physically.
A short gain of just over 2 yards as the first half clock dips inside of 3 minutes. On third down, Abdullah. And he will have the first before he's brought down right on the chalk of the 20. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
So it's pretty simple, partner. You pick up a turnover, set you up in excellent field position. The last thing you want to do is go 3 and out in this spot.
Yeah, they would have had to settle for a field goal attempt, but now they keep those touchdown hopes alive. Back to throw here. Complete. It's Johnson. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. That throw good for 4. It's second down. Two minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll again head down to visit with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando, back for another year. He'll have scores from around the NFL here on this opening weekend. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. A gain of 4 last play. They double that here and get 8.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
Here's first and goal, and gosh, points here, a chance maybe to put this thing away before halftime. He'll drop to throw. And a big loss here as he's taken down.
That's right. Get off the train tracks, baby. Get off the train tracks.
Well, there's still time to rectify this situation because the silver lining, they took a sack on first and goal. But that close to the goal line, that still definitely hurts.
First down, a bit of a disaster, and now on second and goal, back even further. He'll look to throw. This is screen to Abdullah. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. They need to reverse the trend. The last 2 plays have gone backwards. Now it's third and goal.
Watch the ship. Watch the ship.
They'll run for it. This is Abdullah. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Bailey's kick is good. And the lead will grow. It's now 17-0. So the scoring drive encompasses 9 plays, and the net result, 3 points.
Take your disappointment and put it aside. 9 plays. Yeah, they want to end up in the end zone with a touchdown. I get that. But sometimes those 9-play drives pay dividends later with another 9-play drive that culminates in a touchdown when they wear down a defense.
This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line.
Let's go.
Heading back onto the field, here's a look at Devontae Freeman now. They haven't been able to get him on track. They haven't been able to get this offense on track. No points so far.
Maybe it's time to start doing a few different things. Throwing the ball a little bit, maybe featuring other people touching it for a while, and then you get a chance to come back to him when things have changed a little bit. They have to make an adjustment.
Still time for him here as we sit in the second quarter. Now a nice play defensively on first down as this is knocked away and incomplete. Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Ryan got the connection here to Bourne. And they're able to get this one across the 35. The Falcons going to use the second of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. And he will find his man on the outside. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. Falcons going to use their third and final timeout as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half.
50 to Mike. 50 to Mike. Let's go, tackle. Let's go.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Ryan, he goes underneath to Freeman. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. So we are at halftime here in the opener of the 2019 regular season. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. And welcome back to football, everybody. We've got a full slate of 16 games here to start the new season. So let's take our first trip around the NFL. We'll get our tour started out at venerable Soldier Field in Chicago, where it was the visiting Packers who were able to come in and win this one on the road. Aaron Rodgers, 5 touchdown passes, leading his guys to the victory. From there, we head over to MetLife Stadium to check in on the Jets. And you can see they trail the visiting Buffalo Bills in that ball game. The Bills looking to get off to a hot start, and a road win would help them do just that. Lastly, let's get you to Charlotte, North Carolina. Check on the Panthers at home at Bank of America Stadium. And that game's all tied up as they play the visiting LA Rams. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. We'll see if week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Let's go, baby.
Atlanta now coming out on the field. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained, maybe calm their whole team down and find a way to get back in this one.
Yeah, because right now you're down big, you're being shut out. Let's see if this is the drive that kind of kickstarts them. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. To throw again on 2nd down. Ryan, they'll set up the screen for Freeman. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Now Ryan, he's got his man. It's Kendrick Bourne.
Let's go, boys. Let's go.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Hey, we got to get to the ball, team. We got to get to the ball.
Ryan leaves with Freeman on the draw. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle.
Like 50. I got you. I got you.
On 2nd and 12, Ryan. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Ryan. Nope.
Let's go, boys. Let's go.
looks like another empty possession here, partner, and I don't think with 3 scores down in the third quarter, they can truly afford any more the rest of the way.
No, especially the way their offense is sputtering. I think you're exactly right. They got to find some answers quickly. Here's Matt Bosher now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. A little juke. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
Give them 18 there and give the Vikings a first down.
And that last carry puts him right at 100 yards for the game. So how has he done it? Because he's been patient, followed his blocks, let everything develop, and then burst through for big gains.
Yeah, let's get sack lunch. Watch the twist. Watch the twist.
They go back to Abdullah on first. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. Foyesade Oluwakan made the tackle there from his safety position. They run with Abdullah. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's 3rd down. A good chance this is 4-down territory if they're unable to convert. But right now looking at a 3rd and 3. On the carry, it's Boone. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. Give them the 3rd down conversion, 5 yards on the play.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. This is Abdullah. And he'll snag about 5 yards down to the 32. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. They'll go with Boone. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down. Again, they're going to go with Boone. And he's going to get the first down as they bring him down at the 23. Bit of a surprise. They ran it on 3rd and medium. Proved to be the right call. 1st and 10.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive. Because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10.
Hey, 4 down.
Back to throw. And a scary incompletion, almost picked off. It would have been their first INT of the game. Instead, 2nd down. Running from the gun, it's Abdullah. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Back-to-back stops make it 3rd and 10. Looking to throw. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
Check 26, check 26. Let it go.
A toss to Abdullah. So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Gonna give this time to the tailback.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play. They'll look to throw here. Incomplete. The 3rd down battle won by Atlanta's defense. Solid coverage.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
And Bailey able to knock it through. And the lead now increases to 20-0. That will go down as a 15-play drive, and it results in 3 points. So some disappointment?
It's funny. We had our conference before the game with the offensive coordinator, and what did he tell us? I just want every drive to end in a kick, right? An extra point, a punt, or a field goal. Well, in this case, I think it is a little bit of a disappointment because it did end in a kick, but that type of a drive should end in the end zone.
Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Tackle made that time by Anthony Barr.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. From the gun, it's Ryan. And he will be hit from behind and run over. Wow.
I think we've seen this before. Someone's down 3 scores. That situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, 3rd quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. Here's Matt Bosher now. He's been terrific so far. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. A big boot that time, 57 yards the official distance. And out will come the offense as they take over. Here comes the field general leading his offense back out there for the next possession. How do you think he personally is evaluating his game so far? He was pretty good in the first half, been good so far here in the 3rd quarter. He's got to like it, right?
Not looking for the dramatics here. Not trying to set the world on fire in terms of stats. It's almost like you're driving. Hands at 10 and 2, alert for anything out there, watching for trouble on the road, and making sure you get the team home.
The bus driver. See if we can drive the bus here again on this drive. Now a give. This is Abdullah. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. Up from his linebacker spot, Deion Jones making the play. Again, it's Abdullah. He's able to rattle off 6 on the carry, and that'll get him to 3rd and 4. They're going to look to throw. And he's got Kyle Rudolph. And he brings this up to the 46. Good enough for the 1st. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a 1st down. 5th catch of the game for him there.
Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. Used to be occasional, right? Safety valve. Throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block. nowadays an integral part of the passing game, and they create such great mismatches that they often become the leading receiver.
This quarterback now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Johnson's got it complete. A gain of 6 there on first. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Back to the ground now. Here's Abdullah. And he'll get it down here to the 43. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. They'll look to throw now on first down. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. 12 yards there, first down Vikings. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. Here's 2nd and 8. And that's incomplete. Good coverage that time by the linebacker, Deion Jones. Out of the huddle now for play number 9 on this drive. This is 3rd down and 8. They'll drop to throw. And that's knocked away and incomplete. It was Ricardo Allen there on the coverage. So now here comes the field goal team for the 3rd time today. From the left hash, this from 46. Bailey's kick is good. And that will up the score now. It's 23-zip. So that one is his 3rd of the game. Now, if you're wondering, that's only halfway to his career high, as he once had 6 field goals.
Brandon, 6? Let's hope we don't get that again, please. Can we see a few touchdowns here and there?
That'd be nice. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. From the shotgun, Ryan. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. To throw again. Ryan gets it off to Freeman. It'll be a gain of 6, and all of a sudden here it's 3rd down. In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. Now it's Ryan. Open man is born. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35. 3rd down turns to 1st with that 5-yard pickup.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target, and he's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Ryan, he's going to have the hook up to Gage. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 17-yard line. From the red zone now, here's Ryan on first down. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. He's looking for Ridley again. That'll bring up 2nd down. So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. They run, Devontae Freeman. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 5, and that leaves them with 5 more. 3rd and 5 now. To throw is Ryan. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Watch tight end. 4 down, check, 4 down.
They're going on 4th down. It's Ryan. And this is incomplete. Dan Quinn's guys unable to come through there on 4th down. And the Vikings defense is going to get the football back. Now here's the signal caller getting ready to lead this offense again. And right now, probably just one thing in his mind. It's getting back to the hot start because he's really faded.
And ordinarily when that happens, the quarterback, as you know, is usually the leader of the squad. Now there's probably a silent camaraderie that comes about him saying, hey, guess what? We got you. Don't worry about it. Let's go, big fella.
And he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line. The Clemson Tiger, Vic Beasley, reaches home that time. Well, it was 2nd long. Now it's 3rd and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving them exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
Five men in the secondary now for the Falcons on 3rd down. On the run, Abdullah. And Abdullah lost the football. And he's going to come up well short as they rally up to stop him at about the 16.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. Here's Britton Colquitt now, standing just outside his own goal line. Oh, the Falcons fly in and they block it. And they are going to take possession of the football.
And that's truly the way to change field position, isn't it? Block the punt and then take over inside the 5-yard line. What a tremendous job by them. You change momentum, you change field position, and give yourself a chance to score.
Now the Falcons offense gets ready to head back onto the field. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
They'll look to run with Freeman. And he gets in. Touchdown, Atlanta. Taking it in from 2 yards out, and the Falcons get a bit closer. So they will get on the scoreboard here. Give them credit for that. Too little, too late, but no 0. Oh, you're going slow clap on me.
Not very nice, is it?
No, but they haven't been very nice on offense. It's been a struggle. They'll try and run with Freeman. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop in behind the line. So the defense gets the stop. I know it's situation to situation, but who has more pressure there, offense or defense, when they go for 2?
I truly believe it's the defense has more pressure because the offense has an entire playbook wide open from the 2-yard line. You can run it, you can throw it. So defensively, I think most teams are going to be aggressive and force the issue and try and bring pressure.
And after the touchdown, here's Bryant now to kick it away. This fielded at the 2. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here.